Hello guys, today we're gonna see how to solve a math problem. It's called unit array. Well, basically they are giving us an array containing just positive and negative ones, and after doing some operations we have to satisfy these two conditions. We can change from positive to negative and from negative to positive. We can do any number of operations, but the goal is to determine the minimum number. So the first conditional tells us that after adding all the numbers, we have to end up with a positive or greater value than 0 or equal than 0. And after we multiply all of them, we have to get a positive one. So let's see this with an example. Okay, so basically they are telling us that after adding all the negatives and all the positives, we're gonna end up with a value that is greater or equal than 0, and in this case we are getting -2. And also if we multiply all of them, we have to get a positive number, and in this case we're getting -1. So let's see some properties. Well, first of all, whenever we multiply signs, if we multiply an odd number of signs, we're gonna get minus, and if we multiply an even number, we're gonna get positive. Alright, so if we multiply just positive, we're gonna end up with positive. So for example, if we multiply minus by positive, we're gonna get minus. This result is affected by the number of negatives that we are multiplying. So in this case, we know that we have to get an even number of negative numbers. And to check that, we can use module by 2 must be equal to 0. So this is to satisfy the second conditional, and to satisfy the first conditional. Let's see, whenever we add positive numbers plus negative numbers and we want to get greater or equal to 0, we know that maximum we have to get the half of this sum must be negative. So let's see, at most the half could be negative. So for example, here we have 4 elements, the half is 2, so at most we can have 2 negative elements to make a positive one. For example, minus 1 is gonna be equal to 0. Let's see another. In this case, half is 2 again. If we do the floor, we're gonna get 2. So if we do -1 plus 1 1 1, we're gonna get 1. So with this we know how to evaluate the first conditional. So we have to think to satisfy that we have to get an even number of negatives, and at most the half can be negative. Okay, so let's see. If we have more negatives than the half, well, we know that we have to rest this, so it's gonna be negative minus half. So with this we know how many numbers are we gonna remove. It's gonna be negative minus half. And also if our half is odd, we're gonna add 1 to satisfy the first conditional. And otherwise, if our number of negative is lower than the half or equal, we just have to add 1 if the negative is odd, we're gonna add 1. So with this we can satisfy the two conditions. So with this we know that our time complexity is gonna be constant, so it's gonna be big O 1. Okay, so let's program it. We're gonna include bits stds++. This includes all the necessary libraries like math, algorithms, etc. We are also using with stdio0. This helps us to do a faster reading of the input and a faster write to the output. So let's use it. We're gonna read the number of test cases and we're gonna read the number of numbers that they're giving us. So we're gonna have how many positive and negative numbers we have. So we're gonna read them, and if we have a lower number that's 0, it means it's negative, so we're gonna do negative plus plus, otherwise positive plus plus. And we know that if we don't have negative elements, our answer is gonna be 0 operations because it satisfies the two conditional. Otherwise, we're gonna check if let's get the middle number. There is the middle of the elements. So let's see, if our negative elements are lower than our middle, we know that our rest is gonna be negative mod 2. To check if it's odd, it's gonna add 1, and if it's even, it's gonna add 0. Otherwise, we're gonna do rest plus negative minus middle plus if middle is an odd number. So we can just print our result, and we're gonna compile with these test cases. So we got all the results, so I will submit the code. And if you want to practice this problem, it's gonna be the link in the comments. Also, you can use DSA Code Trainer. And if you have any doubt about another problem or any comments, please feel free to tell us. We will try to solve them. Thank you.